controversial issue, and that the only people who can really evaluate it are those that have been there. So overall, I thought it was your best so far, and I liked it.
All right. A little backup on that, okay. No, I'd give you a backup on that too. I think it's your best speech too. I like the opening a lot. I think you've got a good story that you use to start the speech off with. Here's the reason I'm talking about this. This is what I'm interested in. This is what I'm focused on. It's very clear what your claim is at the beginning of the speech. I thought that there's a structure, your supporting points, you clearly lay them out. The way they're phrased is a little bit awkward. I don't think the sentences are exactly as clear as they could be, but there's a structure there so that you've got the right idea there. It's just a matter of getting the language right. I thought, especially in the first section, that you did an excellent job providing information about problems with trying to enforce these sorts of rules. You had experts talking about the physics of the process. You had examples that you talked about. You even had some statistical information that applied to that. So it gives it all a lot of credibility that you're saying, look, you know, this is just not one of those things that you could say, well, here's the rule, everybody abide by the rule, because it's not physically possible to do all of those kinds of things. I do think that you need a little bit more information to suggest that the defenses are becoming gun-shy, and that's why we're losing the dominant defenses. The notion that Harrison got a fine, and then that's why the Steelers have lost, 3 games, and they're not suddenly on their way to the Super Bowl. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but I can understand why it might have an effect on defenses, and I think you've given a good argument that says it's going to have that effect. Presentation-wise, you do a good job looking at the audience and talking to us while you're speaking, but you need a little bit of energy. You're very deliberate when you go through it. It's not slow per se, but it is just slower than it should be. And I think if you were having a conversation with somebody, you'd be a little bit more energetic and involved, and that's kind of what you need to do. That may be your way of kind of dealing with anxiety about speaking. Well, I'll just slow it down, and it's like taking a deep breath, and I'll get through this okay. But you also need to kind of deliver it and sell it to us, and I think that's something that you can work on a little bit. All right, thank you.